This is for day 8 of the July Junk Journal Challenge, and the prompt is words. Fix my under paper there. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this packaging from an old box of cookies, and I'm going to stamp with it. I guess that's not a word, but there are letters on there. So, thought that'd be kind of cool to do for the background. And I'm going to use the same deep turquoise paint that I had used for the background on the previous page here. Oh, that is if I have enough of it. Okay. I think that's good. Aside for a second so I can get this all painty. Okay. And now, don't like that, or I think vertical would work better. So now, no idea if this is actually going to work very well because this is actually some very flimsy plastic, so I don't know. I mean, you can see the lines. Not really very many details. That's okay. I mean, that probably wasn't gonna be the main inclusion for words anyway. Okay. So now I'm gonna add some words with a Posca pen. And I actually really hate this tip because it likes to splatter when I use it, but I didn't know that at the time that I got this pen, so I'm kind of stuck with it until it's dried out. So I wrote, sometimes I just want to float away, to kind of tie it back to the previous page I did with the hot air balloon and stuff. Now I'm taking a blue Posca pen, and I'm gonna make some wave patterns. Right now I'm just kind of drawing the guidelines for them. And then I basically just follow the lines that I made in the spaces. That looks pretty good. And this is actually kind of making me think of a fish. So I know fish swim, they don't really float, but unless they're dead, then they float. Yeah, but this kind of makes me think of like the tail of like a betta fish or something. So I'm taking some white paint and I'm just painting sort of fish body shape. I didn't realize my pen was still wet there. So it's kind of covering the words a little bit. But that's okay. So now I'm gonna stencil some white paint in these 3 areas here using this stencil. I forget what stencil this came from, but I had gotten a stencil with a bunch of different types of marks, kind of like this, or shapes, kind of like this one, and I cut it apart so I could use it easier, but that was years ago. And I'm using this stencil brush, which I may have ruined, because I used this to try to pounce some acrylic medium on a hat that I had with a very floppy brim, as an attempt to like stiffen that brim because I was decorating it for Ren Fair. And I soaked it in water. I soaked it in Murphy's oil soap and soaked it in water again, and it's still kind of stiff in some parts. But I think it'll still work for stenciling, so we'll see. I mean, it's working, but it's not the best. I'll probably try soaking this in the Murphy's oil soap again. There. Need a little bit more paint. Okay, yeah, that's not the best, but definitely could be worse. I'm taking my black Posca pen again. I'm just making a little doodle border around the page. Goodness. Sorry. You started falling over, and I gotta... You know what? Okay. Okay. So, remember when I had discovered that if I put my tripod on top of a yogurt container, that seemed to help make it so I wouldn't bump into the tripod? Yeah, that yogurt container needs to have something in it. So typically I use the yogurt container that I have the Murphy's oil soap sitting in. But since I was using that, I had my tripod sitting on top of an empty yogurt container, and that's why it toppled over, because it needs the weight. So I'll just have to keep that in mind in the future. Bet I could find a rock or something. I'm just gonna pull that. This might be... Here, I'll turn you over here so you can still see. Because right now I have some wet paint on my underpaper right now because I was working on a different project. And I don't want to ruin my previous page or the cover, so I have some parchment paper down over top of some of the wet paint. So in order to do this side, I kind of have to do it over here instead of where I had my journal. See, I don't know how well you can see that right there, but oh, you really can't. Hold on, see if that really didn't zoom in where I wanted it to, but right there, that's the splattering that I was talking about. I mean, it can add a nice effect sometimes, but usually I don't really want it to happen. Now I can have this open again. So I can go over here. Do I want... I'm trying to decide if I want to continue it here. So this Y is going to overlap with it a little bit. Same with this T. I think I won't. I think that would be too much. Okay. Now, I think this is pretty much done. I just want to go over the parts of the word float that I had painted over earlier. Okay, I think that's good. And then maybe... I don't really want to distract from the words, but I do want to have the fish more defined. So I'm going to take a pencil, and I'm using my non-dominant hand to just kind of outline around the fish's body a few times until it's defined enough for my liking. That's good. And then I want to give the fish like an eye right here. I'm trying to decide if I should also do that in pencil or if I want to do it in black. I think it'll look weird if I do it in black. Maybe I could... No, don't want to use blue. So I'll use my pencil. And I don't think this is how a fish's eye looks, but I don't really care. Add a little white of the eye there and fill it in. Sure. Then want to add a fin there? Not really. There. Can add a little bit up here though. Yeah, and then I don't know, it feels like I think this is good. I was kind of considering giving the fish a mouth, but I don't think so. I can't really think of a way to do that without it looking weird. No, I think I will add a fin here. That looks kind of odd. No, actually no. It looks fine. It looks kind of odd up close. But I don't know. I think it's cute. Okay, so that is day 8. Yes, 8. Where the prompt was words. I didn't really use words too much, I guess, but I did kind of make them a main feature, so yeah. Anyway, if you enjoyed watching this video, please give me a like, and if you want to follow along with me for the rest of the prompts for the July Junk Journal Challenge, please subscribe so you know when I upload a new video. I really appreciate it. And yeah, have a wonderful day.